What is up, y'all? I am back. Hopefully I'm back. I've been away from YouTube for a little bit, not gonna lie. But I've been learning a lot of things. I've been reading new books. I've been experiencing new things, right? I want to give you guys an update about my love life. Well, what it is, I guess. Um, I was sort of talking to this girl, mind you, and it was like we were like sort of like catching up, let's say, because I haven't talked to her since like middle school, and then like she followed me, and then I like followed back, obviously, and then I saw her post a couple times, and I was like, she's pretty, right? And then I saw her one time, and I was like, yo, that's so and so. So I was like, oh my gosh, hi. So boom, we start talking, right? Couple days go by, we're chittering, chattering, things are starting to escalate. Nothing crazy, just more energy, you could say. And then I bang out a time we can hang out, catch up, you know, and so I didn't really know how to take it. I was like, is this a date? Is this just us catching up? Are we friends? Yada yada yada. And now I could have been bold and direct and answer those questions, but I didn't really want to jump the gun. And I was willing to wait it out, see how this first hangout went, and then figured it out from there. So, I'm texting throughout these days, and I start noticing myself get a little bit not attached to her, but just attached to the idea of me getting with somebody. And so I'm like, I start worrying about different things. I'm like, what if it doesn't work out? What if she doesn't like this? What if she doesn't like that? I'm sure a lot of people have those things, but I've always told myself, worry, fear, doubt, all these different things it's just fake. That's all made up in my head. And so me falling for those things, I was like, well, what am I doing? I literally teach a lot of people about this, what not to do, and I'm doing it. Which obviously, I feel like the greatest teachers do end up having to relearn what they teach. Because if they never did, well, then how would they be able to teach them? How would they ever be able to teach them? Whatever. So boom, I'm kind of like worrying. I'm texting on the phone. It's low key like dying off just a little bit. A little longer response time. Da 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 da. No calling, nothing like that. Literally just text, right? And then I'm like, maybe I'm getting a little too worked up on this. I told two of my friends about it, and then I was like getting really, really like, man, I gotta make this thing work, or else I'm gonna look kind of like, kind of bad. It was an identity thing. Like, I felt like if I wasn't able to make this work, then like, well, not that I'm like, weird, but I just feel like I just lost something. I lost that sort of security, right? And so, that we're slowly we was going like this, and now we like this. So it's like it's about to go like, right? And luckily at that time, I was able to detach myself. I was finally just like, what, it is what it is. Chilling, whatever happens, happens. And, it didn't end up happening. She ends up canceling it, which I was sort of foreseeing because response times were getting kind of crazy. And I was like, hey, I ain't against it. We were just catching up, so I'm not going to take it personally. Really don't know what's going on. So luckily, I wasn't making too many assumptions. And, I was just, I was hanging out. I was chilling. And so, yeah, during that time, I missed the most important part. I started noticing these old patterns that started popping up about, how I felt about my ex, where there was times where I'd be so worried or so caught up on an outcome, whether it's a hangout, whether it's a date, whether it's the way she perceived me, whether it's this, that, and this, that that's all I thought about. I was so worried, I was so fearful, and, it just made me feel like this, like, literally, I just crunched up into a little ball. And it wasn't her fault, obviously. I take the responsibility for that. But I started noticing it with this girl. And then I was like, this is weird. But instead of taking it as like I'm regressing, like I'm not doing better for myself, I'm failing, etc., I took it as like, well, God's showing me this now so I can get over this. So for the next person who comes up, or if it is her, then I can learn to let go. I can learn to trust in him. I can learn to have faith. I can learn to clear my mind and not be so attached to an outcome. And I think that's something God taught me, detaching myself from things that I really, really want. Like, I don't want to sound desperate, all right? But that's how I really felt like. I felt kind of desperate, to be honest with you, that I really wanted a girl. And having like a godly woman, which luckily she was, or she is, I should say. And so, like, you know, check marks were there. I was just, you know, a little too attached to it. And so, yeah, I think that's my lesson, you know. Maybe not jump the gun too quickly. And don't get so attached to things that, you know, God only already has control over. And those old patterns, those things you go through, those worries, those doubts, God's bringing those things into light so you can learn, so you can grow, so you can let go of those things, surrender them to God, and begin to live a little more freer. Because now, as I'm not gonna lie, I left her undelivered just because it's getting a little dicey, and I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about anymore. So, nothing against her, right? But whatever happens. I'm here. I'm still me. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still making videos. Still enjoying my life. You know, have different opportunities come left and right. And so, yeah, I encourage you guys to do the same. If you did stick through this whole thing, thanks. If you didn't, you should not seeing this. So, yeah. Catch y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Peace out. I'll, again, add more updates. I'll be posting on here a lot more consistently. It might just be these head talks where I'm in the middle of my room or outside or in my basement, whatever the case may be. I really enjoy it. I want to move more towards long form because I'm starting to notice a little bit of weirdness happening on the TikToks. Maybe not Instagram yet, but you know, everything on the short form side is getting a little dicey. And I feel like I can truly be myself and say what I want on here. So hey, we'll see how that goes. God bless.